Hey, everybody, and welcome. We're tackling something that I think we all kind of struggle with, at some point, and that's fear of failure. You know that feeling,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. That little voice in your head saying, what if this? Or what if that? It can really hold us back.
Totally. But what if instead of being scared of failing, we could actually use it to our advantage? What if failing was just like a stepping stone? Today, we're diving deep into 5 powerful tips to flip that script and reframe failure as like a springboard for growth.
Right.
It all starts, though, with, and this might be the hardest part, changing your mindset, right?
Right.
It's so easy to see a failure as a dead end, like, oh, I messed up. That's it. Game over.
Yeah, yeah. You just want to crawl into a hole and forget the whole thing.
Exactly. But hold on. What if instead of that full stop, we looked at it like a comma? Just a pause, to catch your breath, learn something, and then keep going.
And that's what's so cool about the whole growth mindset thing. It's like we're not stuck with the skills and talents we're born with. We can actually develop them, like, working out a muscle.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. So instead of being terrified of messing up, we should see challenges as a chance to, what, like level up?
Exactly. Challenges become these, like, exciting opportunities to improve, not these threats we have to avoid at all costs.
That totally reminds me of when I first started doing these podcasts. Public speaking used to make me a nervous wreck.
Really? You always seem so natural.
Oh, stop, you're too kind. But seriously, I used to get so in my head about it. Then I started thinking about it differently. I was like, okay, every episode, every interview, it's just practice. It's a chance to refine my delivery, my timing, everything.
And that shift in perspective, it can make a huge difference.
Oh, for sure. And I think the listeners could tell the difference too. I wasn't this ball of nervous energy anymore.
Right, right. Because confidence, it really comes through.
Right.
Okay, but let's say we've nailed the whole mindset thing. We're feeling good. How do we actually start tackling these challenges?
That's a great question. Where do you begin?
It's all about breaking those big, scary goals down into bite-sized pieces. That's tip number 2. Set small, achievable goals. You know that feeling when you have this huge project and it's just looming over you?
Oh, tell me about it, like writing a perm paper or something. It's just this massive thing you're putting off until the last minute.
Exactly. But instead of freaking out about the whole thing, what if you just focused on, like, writing 1 paragraph a day? Or even just brainstorming some ideas?
Yeah.
Suddenly, it feels so much less overwhelming.
It's like, okay, I can do this one little thing today, and that gets me closer to the finish line.
Exactly. And every little win you have, it builds momentum and boosts your confidence to keep going.
It's like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right?
Absolutely. Just focus on putting one foot in front of the other.
Okay, so we're breaking things down, taking baby steps, but even then, our brains can get in the way, right? Like we psych ourselves out. What's something we can do to, I don't know, maybe pump ourselves up a bit?
That's where the power of visualization comes in. Tip number 3. Imagine yourself crushing that goal, feeling that sense of accomplishment. Really feel it.
You mean like really get into it, close your eyes and everything?
Yeah, it might sound kind of out there, but it works. When you vividly visualize success, you're basically creating a mental roadmap to your goal. It's like giving your brain a sneak peek of the finish line.
That makes sense. Like when athletes visualize their performance, right? They're not just hoping for the best, they're mentally rehearsing success.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've visualized, we've taken action, then boom, life happens and things don't quite go according to plan. What then? What do we do with that?
That's where we got to get good at learning from our past failures.
Yeah.
Tip number 4. And this doesn't mean beating ourselves up about it. It's about getting curious. Yeah. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, we ask ourselves, okay, what happened here? What can I learn from this? What might I tweak for next time?
So it's less of a post-mortem and more of a debriefing.
Exactly. Don't let those experiences go to waste. They're full of valuable lessons.
It's like mining for gold, but instead of gold, it's wisdom or something like that. Okay, last but not least, what's the final tip? What ties all of this together?
It's the most important one. Taking action. Because we can have all the right tools, all the strategies in the world, but if we don't actually use them.
It's like having a fancy toolkit, but never actually fixing anything.
Exactly. It's time to get out there and actually use those tools.
Love it. So to recap, we've got our 5 tools to conquer that fear of failure. We're shifting to a growth mindset, breaking those goals down into smaller steps, visualizing ourselves rocking it, learning from every experience, and finally, most importantly, taking action.
And as you're, working towards your own goals, I want you to ask yourself, What's one small step, even a tiny one, that you can take today? Something that gets you moving, even if you're a little afraid. Remember, every step you take, every stumble, every success, it's all a chance to learn and grow and become even more resilient than before.
Such great advice to end on. And to our amazing listeners, keep those failures coming because they're just setting you up for something even greater. We'll catch you in the next deep dive.